Hello and welcome to Return to Eberron, Cult of the Godseed. My name is Matt Nahat, and today I am joined by my friends overseas as we play Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition in the land of Eberron. We are in just out of, below Stormreach here in Zendrick, and we have infiltrated or invaded the lair of a gang of UNT called the Sewer Serpents, who have recently joined sort of the groups of gangs, made a new gang effectively, and all of the other gangs of Stormreach have been quite, I don't know, angry and set aback. Their old turf wars have sort of erupted again because this new group is there, and they've been trying to figure out what to do. And the local law has been struggling with this as well, because more gangs is just not, it's not a good sign. And just recently, what our characters experienced was that a group of visiting drow of over 100 in their retinue were slaughtered in the streets of Stormreach by this gang, who obviously knew that the drow were coming, and who waited in the sewers and came out all across the city, really, from various exits, slaughtered these drow, took their weapons, and left almost without a trace, except for the tracks back into the sewers. And so it's just erupted way out of control. So our characters decided, even from a couple of sessions ago, that we probably wanted to deal with them, but especially after we saw this slaughter firsthand, or at least the result of it, we said, no, we need to do something about this, to get into the sewers and to sort of solve this issue. When we got here, we came by swimming through a fairly long underground passage, and when we emerged into the sewers, and we found that it is being illuminated by these strange sort of glowing worm snakes that are sort of burrowing into the ceiling and sort of letting off this greenish light, and it's kind of weird. We know that the stone isn't this greenish color, but because of these harmless snake worms, it does look like the stone is that color. And we saw that there were some guardians, or at least UNT, who were basically guarding the entrance, and they were also guarding these giant pods. That there's like 4 pods that are sort of medium to large size, and one sort of central pod. And the 4 pods had various stages of, creature growth, of UNT growth in them. So we don't know if this is from just from magic, or from embryos, or what's going on. Maybe eggs are being hatched. We don't know exactly how this works. All we know is that more UNT are being grown in these pods, and we saw this firsthand. they basically called out to us and said, you are trespassers, and leave before you're attacked and destroyed. At which point the party immediately sprung into action and said, no, you're going to be the ones that get destroyed, not us. And so that pretty much gives us a bit of a summary as to what happened last time. One of our party wasn't with us, and that was Felice. So I'm going to quickly jump over here to the Stormreach map and just talk to Felice for just a minute. But before I do that, let's actually introduce everyone, everyone's characters. Actually, what might be better, I will jump over to Felice because she's going to be the one that's going to be talking for the next couple of minutes at least, and then we'll introduce everyone else when it's sort of their time to go. So Felice, you're here in Stormreach. You have decided, you know that your party is going into the sewers. You didn't really want to go there in the first place, but you know that they're probably going to need a hand. But first, what we sort of decided on for you was that you were going to go to the local Stormreach library and just research a couple of things. Primarily, we wanted to find out a little bit more about this Lady Vol character. We know that we're probably going to have to deal with her at some point. And we've heard all of this information about her, that she's most likely a lich. She's got a phylactery, which lends to that. And we wanted to find out, I guess, more about her, what her history was. We wanted to find out if someone's gone up against her before, how someone might destroy her, what this phylactery might be, that sort of thing. And if we couldn't find anything necessarily about her, which you will find stuff about her, so gather in whatever information you can find out about her, tell us what that is. And also anything about liches in general, because we may have to end up, destroying her, and we want to have the information just in case we have to do that. Also, we are obviously going down into the sewers of the UNT, so we thought maybe if there's some information about why they might be doing this, maybe some information about the ancient UNT cultures and where they were from, what they did, and maybe some stuff around that. Now, obviously, your character doesn't have time to do days and days of research here, but you have a little bit. So I would like you to take a second and think about what your priorities are, and if there's anything else that you would like to research that's above and beyond what I've just mentioned. Your party has recommended these things, but it's now your choice as you're in the library to decide what you're going to research and to decide what is your focus and to be able to deliver this information to your party. And I want to do that in the next, say, 5 minutes or so. Get that done in the next 5 minutes or so. Give you the information that you want and get you to the party so that we can get everyone involved in the session. So, what are your thoughts?
Okay, well, I think Lady Vol is probably of the most interest to Felice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's definitely somebody we're gonna have to deal with in order to accomplish what we're setting out to do.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that she would probably focus there.
Yeah.
I don't think she'd be able to help herself.
So that's your primary area of focus. So, and you know what? the librarians here are pretty skilled, and you're pretty skilled in research. So why don't we make an investigation check with advantage because you have the help, and we'll see how we go with that.
What do we get here? Whoops. What's going on? Oh, there we go. Investigation. Right here. Get out of the way.
Okay. So 19 and 22 with advantage.
Wow. Get out of the way. My cat's in the way. Sorry, can't even see the screen.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Nice.
alright, so I'll give you a little bit of a snapshot. Obviously, all of this information and more will be available via handout at the end of the session, but I just want to, summarize what we've got here. So, you find out that Lady Vol her first name is Erandis. Erandis.
Okay.
Erandis Vol. She is known as the Lich Queen and is the last heir of the House of Vol, which comes from an ancient elven bloodline that bore the Mark of Death. So, real quick, this House of Vol was an elven dragon-marked house, and it was one of the first dragon-marked houses to appear. It originated in minus 3200 YK. Now we are in 1000 plus 1003 YK. So this was 5,000 years or so, okay? And you know that House Vol originated in Arenal, and you know that it was laid ruin, or you find the information that it was laid ruin and completely wiped from the face of Eberron. The House of Vol possessed the Mark of Death, and scholars have debated what powers this Mark of Death had. And because all of the members of House Vol were destroyed and wiped out, and the whole house was wiped out, the Mark of Death disappeared from Eberron and hasn't been seen since that destruction in 2600, minus 2600 YK, which is, again, over 3,000 years ago, 3,500 years ago. So they centered the history of this, of House Vol, was a historical war between the dragons and the elves. Okay? So the dragons and the elves, or that race of elves, those ancient elves, of which you are not part of their bloodline, mind you, but anyway, like that incarnation of elves had this war with the dragons. The matriarch of the house sought to end the war, and she created this arcane and genetic project, wherein her plan was to fuse the bloodlines of elves and dragons together. And through this project, she allied herself with a green dragon called the Emerald Claw, and Manara Vol, the then matriarch, the one that was, creating this project, she impregnated herself with a combination, like this genetic combination of dragon and elven blood. And that incarnation, that child, became Erandis Vol. So she is half dragon and half elf. So that's a little bit about House Vol and about how Erandis came to be. Now, the Mark of Death, real quick, it belonged to this necromantic house of elves again, and it is completely extinct to the knowledge of Eberron. And now that you're looking through the books, there is some examples of what it may have looked like. Now, the examples are inconsistent. They're not, but they're close enough that you can sort of make, an educated guess about what it might look like. And you, although you as a player weren't really there in the Honeycomb Caverns as much as the other players because you were away, your character certainly was there, and your character saw the mark, the picture on the wall of the cavern, and that picture that was drawn in blood matches very closely to the Mark of Death picture that you are seeing in this book, or in these books that you have pulled out. So you're pretty sure, like maybe 70+%, that that picture is a picture of the Mark of Death. Why there was a picture of the Mark of Death in the Honeycomb Caverns when the Mark of Death has been extinct, to our knowledge, is a little bit beyond you, but it's hell of a scary thing if the Mark of Death has somehow emerged again. That's kind of what you find. There's a little bit more information, but that they're the Cliff Notes. That's the Cliff Notes version. It does say that Irandis Vol, that she obviously has a plan, and it goes through. It doesn't tell you or us exactly what that plan might be, but it does say that, especially, and you know that these books were written by people of the time or by historians that have studied that time, so you know to take some of this information with a grain of salt, right? Like, it's not necessarily all going to be real. And some of it might be blown out of proportion, and some of it might be fake, and some of it might be real. It's uncertain exactly what's real and exactly what's not. However, everything I've said so far is real. This bit of information you find sort of scribbled in one of the margins, right? It's not written officially, but it is noted there. And it does have a signature that you don't recognize right now, but we can maybe make a check about that. And this note is something that piques your attention. And it says that in this person's opinion, Arandis intends to become the Queen of Death, to revive the Mark of Death, and to take revenge against the dragons of Arganessen and the elves of Arenal. Because in the end, they betrayed her. And she's created this organization. The fact that she wants to take revenge and revive the Mark of Death is hearsay, right? Another piece of real information is that she has created an organization called the Blood of Vol, and by extension, the Order of the Emerald Claw, i.e. the name of her sort of half-parent who she was impregnated into her mother by. And this organization carries out all sorts of things in Arandis Vol's name. Although that's not necessarily common knowledge, but you do find that in amongst the stuff, because you got a 22. 22 isn't common knowledge, that's not common knowledge, but you do find those things out. You know that she's not officially like a member of the Emerald Claw, but she's like this top-down person. She's like the CEO who doesn't come to visit, right? So her like second and third or whatever in command might be more directly involved. She's not directly involved, but a number of the things that they do are influenced by her, influenced by what she wants to do. But they're not wholly driven by exactly her. Okay? So that gives you a little bit of a picture. Do you have any questions?
I would like to roll to see if I know who.
Yeah,
Who's
who
to
this
vote
scholar is? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So that would be a history check.
All right. So history.
No advantage on this one. What do we got? 15?
Yep.
Yeah, something's niggling at you. But, yeah, you're not 100% sure. You're pretty sure that you've probably seen this signature before. Like, so it's recognizable, but you can't place it as to whom it might be. Just at the moment. But you do recognize it. You have seen it before. Okay, so you do know that it holds some weight because it's something that you have seen. It's just like, I've seen it, but I can't place it to who exactly it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what can I learn about the Emerald Claw?
Mm-hmm.
And what's the other? Those two things that she's wanting to bring together.
Right. So the Emerald Claw, the Order of the Emerald Claw, is a sort of a knight style, as in KN, knight style organization of mostly elite shock troopers. They are based. They were based in Karnath until they were outlawed and driven underground. They operate in a semi-terrorist fashion to this day, proclaiming their desire to see Karnath once again rise to power and garnering support from the Blood of Vol. Now, something that you know as a character, and something that you all know as characters, is that Karnath experienced, what can I call it? Almost a disintegration of their entire society, right? So they were having a bad time. And what happened was, in order to scrape back to coping again after just this massive, almost elimination of almost genocide, you can call it, right? So this happened, and in order to scrape back, they decided to raise an undead army to try and take back things and to try to get, to just be alive still. If they hadn't have done that, they probably would have been wiped out completely. When they made this undead army, they pretty much then sort of drove out the Emerald Claw along with that. Now, it wasn't the Emerald Claw's fault that there was this genocide, but it was like they had an understanding, and then because Karnath started to raise the dead, the Emerald Claw were like not totally on board, and Karnath was just like, nah, screw you, we don't want you anymore, we want these undead because we know that they're going to win us the war and bring us back onto the map, basically. So there's a bit of a falling out that happened there, and the Order and the Emerald Claw was driven underground. However, to this day, you know that they're still around. You know that they still have influence, and you know that they're spread fairly fairly broadly, but you know that their numbers aren't crazy. Like they're not, yeah, they're not everywhere, or they are everywhere, but they're not prolific everywhere. There's just some agents everywhere. Now, um, you know exactly what they do. It depends on where they are. It's kind of like cells. It's like rebel cells, I suppose. You know that they've got these cells and they operate in areas and they do their own thing within their own cells. But you think and you find that the majority of what they do is informed by the higher up. So there's like a top down CEO type deal where the cells are left to whatever they've been ordered to do in their area and then left alone. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
The Blood of Vol, which is the religion that goes along with that, is a faith. It is the leader of that is obviously Lady Vol, but not many people within the religion know that she's the leader, because many people think that she's dead. You know, for someone to have lived 4,000 years, 3,500 years,
right?
That's not really normal. But she's a lich, which you know, but no one else really does. Very few anyway. Yeah, so they do stuff. They worship lifeblood. They hold blood as extremely sacred, and so they're kind of against undead, or at least in theory, kind of against undead. Some of them are necromancers and do things a different way, but you know, the easiest way to just like summarize it without getting too deep into there is that they're kind of against undead. Because it's all about the blood of life is coursing through our veins, and make the most of this life, make the most of this blood that you have, and to achieve greatness. So there's some really good messages.
Yeah.
In the organization, it's not all doom and gloom. In fact, it's all about celebrating the life that you have. However, this is all informed and based around a religion that was, you found out now, created by Lady Vol. Okay?
Okay.
Lots of information there.
Yeah, tons.
Are we... Do we understand? Trying to not take too much time on that, but...
Yeah, no, that's fair. And I could always ask more out of game.
Yeah, and I'll link all of the pages that I have here. You know, there's web pages and stuff that we can just link you to,
Okay.
that you can, you know, find out, you know, a little bit more from or whatever. But those really that's the majority of it.
Great. Okay. I guess the last thing would be like if there's anything she can quickly learn that might help us with the Yuan Ti. She'd do that, but if she's feeling like she's spent too much time, she'd probably just try to go join everybody at this point.
Right. So I'll give you one. I'll give you something that's related but not related. Okay, as your thing that you find just as you're finishing up, you're gathering your things. You know that you probably have to go and join your friends because maybe they're gonna be in trouble. You don't know, but they're gonna be going into this sewer full infested with Yuan Ti. You don't, while you've heard about them, there's so much now that doesn't make sense, right? Like, why are they working with Vol? Why are they attacking people in broad daylight in the streets? In fact, near Drow. What's going on with that? Why now? You know that there's a prophecy that says that their ancient their ancient sort of bloodline and rulership would come back, right? So they used to be co-rulers along with the giants. They want that back. Their prophecies say that they'll get that back, and they're saying that this is the time for that. So there's a bunch of things that explain maybe why there's more of them at the moment, but why they're attacking Drow in the streets and all of that. That's what doesn't make sense. So you have a bit of a look, and you don't really find out too much. Just as a narrative thing, maybe we can find out more. You do find where you could maybe get more information, kind of like the seer thing, where it's like maybe you don't know the information, but you know where to get it, right? So you sort of get that, but as you're packing things up, and as you're sort of talking about it to the librarian and things like that. The librarian does recommend something to you. She sort of says, because you sort of mentioned that your group was behind making sure that as many forces as could possibly be were to invade the sewers to get rid of this new threat, right? And she sort of said, while fighting might be the way to go, you look like a scholar, she says to you. You seem like a scholar. You the things that you have found in such a short amount of time say to me that you're more of a scholar, more of a poet than a fighter. And she says there may be another way that might get you further into the sewers and your group further into the sewers than just hack and slash.
Okay.
She says, what I would recommend is going over to the mage tower here and asking them if they wouldn't mind casting a spell on you and your group, or maybe putting the spell into a potion or a scroll that you can read. And maybe you might have to pay for that, I don't know, but because you're helping out the town, maybe they'll just give it to you, I don't know. But ask for the spell Seeming.
Okay.
And if they give you a scroll of Seeming, you can effectively go into the sewers disguised as Yuan-Ti or Snake People and get through some of that sewers without fighting, and then set yourselves up in a position that is where you want to jump out, where you want to ambush or whatever, and have a little bit more in your advantage. Now, Seeming isn't faultless, she says, but it's a high-level spell, and I think it would get you through the sewers without as much direct bloodshed. If you can take out the leaders of the sewer serpents, my guess is that they'll have to leave, or that they'll be thrown into disorganization. Now, I can't be sure of this, she says. I don't know how deep the rabbit hole goes. But looking at you, seeing you, hearing you, as you've been doing this research, that's what I would recommend.
Wow, that is such a great suggestion. Thank you so much for that. I am definitely all for avoiding constant battle.
Right. So, armed with that information, obviously I'm not going to be posting all of this now, but at the end of the session or in the next couple of days, I'll have all of this information that I've read out here on Roll20 as handouts.
Great.
let's now flip flip over to the sewers. You've gotten whatever you need to. You can just go to the wizards. They do ask for payment, but hearing what you're doing, they say, look, how about just for now, you take the scroll, you know, obviously time is of the essence, and we can talk about what payment can be given later. Maybe you can give us a favor or something. You know, it is a 5th level spell. It is quite expensive. But you know what? You know, we don't want to take any more time. So they give you the scroll and they say, come back to see us, please. Don't just take it. And we'll figure something out. All right. And
count on me to come back and negotiate with
I mean, you guys have been helping out the town, and they know who you are. So yeah. So we can flip now over to the other map, and to the rest of the group. Sorry to keep everyone else waiting. Hopefully that was informative to you as well. So back here in the sewers, Felice will emerge from the tunnel of water that you have to swim in. Felice, could you make me a strength check as you're swimming, please? It's quite a distance, that's all. 12. Could you make me a con save as well? Not a check, a save. Alright. So yeah, you get to... You get through, but it's, you know, like one of those quick scenes where, you know, you zoom in to a character underwater and they're swimming and they're swimming and they're swimming, and you can see them, like, their cheeks start to bulge and you can see their eyes going wild, and you're swimming and you're swimming, and then you, like, you emerge and you're just like and everyone can hear you as you emerge. You make it.
Can she be the one who actually comes out of the pod instead with the other Yuan-Ti thingamabobber? Just, I'm here!
No. She comes out the tunnel.
Try.
So you look back, Lana and Silas, who are at the back, you hear this. You look back and there's Felice. She's holding a waterproof scroll case. And she's gasping for air. Felice, for your benefit, as you look down into these sewer tunnels, you see obviously Lana and Silas, but you also see this massive Yuan-Ti way down here, this abomination that has literally just burst out of one of these pods. You see George, the fire elemental, who is engaged with him, and you see Bastien and Don, who are about to also engage with this creature. And it is the start of the round. Everyone's initiative is already set except for yours, Felice. So would you mind, please, rolling me an initiative check?
Roll a 20, roll a 20, roll a 20.
Oh, I keep doing that. I keep forgetting to... Where am I? I'm here. Okay, try that again. 13.
Alright, let me make sure that you've actually... Yep, so I'll do this in descending order here. Alright, we're all good with that. Now, real quick then, for the benefit of anyone watching and what's not, we'll real quick go around the table now and introduce the other characters that are now able to do something as Felice was just catching up. So let's do Silas, Don, Bastien, and then Lana, and we'll just go to your guys' actions and stuff. In answer to your question, Bastion, inside the 15-foot AoE, yes, he is. That may not continue necessarily, but right now, yes. So we'll do, like I said, we'll do Silas, Don, Bastion, Lana. Go ahead, guys, and just introduce your characters and what you're doing and thinking right now.
What's up, guys? I'm Corey, and I'm playing Silas Phoenix. He is Paladin of the White Phoenix. An interesting idea. He is in a stinky, gross, swampy sewer, standing next to the woman that he can't get out of his mind.
Alright.
And I am Dawn, half-orc druid. Hear your race. Roar.
Roar. And he's running a little bit late. That's okay.
Sorry, that's funny, sorry.
Yes. Very good. And Bastion?
I'm Bones, playing Bastion. Bastion is a clockwork construct, warforged. He's running around doing his clerical duties and trying to find redemption for his past misdeeds. He's hoping that this battle will help him relive some of his glory days, despite the muck.
Absolutely, yeah. And then Lana.
And I'm Lana. I'm Lana, and I am a human rogue. Yeah, and we are hopefully gonna kill some Yonti and survive.
Alright. It is the Abomination's turn to act here. And
As its turn begins, a celestial dwarf runs forward and hits it with a hammer.
Mm-hmm.
I need a wisdom save,
Yep.
DC 16.
Alright, a wisdom save. Alright, he fails that. Takes 18 radiant damage. Okay. Actually, I have advantage. Let's just double check. I still fail. Cool. So that's the start of his turn. He takes that. He's got this fire elemental there right in front of him. Okay. How big is this fire elemental? Is it large? Do we know? Possibly not. I think it
I'm
is.
assuming it's large, but it can squeeze through very small spaces.
Right.
It's large, but like not gaseous, but it's a flame elemental. It's big and it can ebb its size.
Alright, I'm going to make 3 melee attacks. Let's see.
I'm gonna say the AC is 16.
Alright. Let's see. Plus 7. Cool. 3 of these. Alright, not a hit. Sorry, a hit, and a hit. Right. So, the fire elemental is grapple, and it will take a total of 27 points of damage.
Which it gets snuffed out.
So yeah, what actually happens here is the abomination grabs onto this almost pure fire creature into his claws, lifts him up into the air, opens his maw, and swallows him. And you see fiery glowing in the abomination's belly. And he seems to have taken on some of the fire elemental traits. And he's...
This sucks. No, George, he's been corrupted. He thinks he works for the Yuan-Ti now.
Plus 27. Okay, so, you can also see, you can also see that he seems to be rejuvenated via this swallowing. And that is its turn. You know what? It's going to... Let's see. I've got some more archers and stuff there. It grunts something, and the two archers down here, they are... You don't understand it, but they take off down the corridor, say 5, 10, 15, 20. So they can be down here, actually. Alright, so they're taking off. And it is Lana's turn.
Yay. Alright. Can we look at that? The creatures. Enough. Yeah, so. Please, here. Congratulations! Look what you're here in time for! Who looks back? Georgia gets eaten! Okay, I really don't want to get close to that. I really don't. The firebolt didn't seem to work earlier, but you know, she learned that one other spell, and she's gonna really concentrate and really hope for the best, and she's going to go. Bloop. And what the heck did I go? A 15 to hit.
Okay. His AC
Is 14.
is 15, exactly on the mark. However, you're casting Inferno Spiral, which is fire damage, and he just swallowed a fire elemental. He takes half damage from this, so he takes 7.
Lana feels very impressed.
So you can, it says here, you may add your sneak attack damage to one successful hit.
Ooh. I couldn't remember.
Would you normally get sneak attack in this situation, though?
Yes, technically yes, because I'm within 5 feet of an ally.
So you get it if you're in range of an ally.
Mm-hmm.
Do you?
No,
Is it the other way?
It's the other way.
It has to be within 5 feet of an ally.
Okay, so, alright, in that case, you won't get your sneak attack, but if you did a similar thing again with him, with one of our allies in melee, then you would get your sneak attack. But in this case, because you normally wouldn't get it, you don't get it. Okay, makes sense. So, anything else that you want to do on your turn, Lana? Did you want to move?
No, she's perfectly happy to keep her ground where she's at.
Alright, we're up to Silas. unmuted.
So,
Yeah, there you go.
so Kyle's, is ever so slightly distracted. And he's standing there next to Lana. And he is just distracted looking at her. Just for the ever so shortest second. And then, out of the corner of her eye, he sees that fire elemental get eaten. And looks at her and goes, "Oh, that's really bad. Really, really, really bad." And he kind of marches forward. And, I think I should do that. No, he's going to stay there. No, he's not. I'm going to move to... That's not the right thing.
I'll distract the beast. You do what you can,
No.
Bastion says.
Everything to figure out where's me. I am going to go over here on this side.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible idea. Yeah, so we're gonna go right over here. When I get there, I'm going to shoot him with a crossbow bolt.
All right.
That one. Because hitting him with fire, that's not gonna do any good at all.
It will do some good. It'll just do half good.
I want all the good if I can have it.
Lana, I can hear your typing, by the way.
There's that.
Thank you.
Definitely helps.
Yes.
And as a bonus action, I'm going to cast one of my smites. I think I'm going to use... not that one. I am going to use Thunderous Smite this time. Wait, no, I don't have that one prepared. That's not good. Alright, so we'll just use the big boy. I'm going to use Branding Smite. Cast? Still need to. Cast. You cast it twice. I did. Sorry. So the first one is, yeah, no, it's 6, regardless. It's the same thing. So an extra 6 damage from that. And that's radiant damage, if that matters.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm not going to take a second attack because I will have to reload. And that will be the end of my turn. I'm standing behind my shield.
Yep.
But not, but that's just flavor.
All right. Very good. So, in response to you saying, does radiant damage affect more? No. But it does have its full effect. It's not resistant. But neither is it vulnerable. So, over to Felice, who has this waterproof scroll case and the scroll within. It's up to you what you would like to do. Over to you. And you're muted at the moment.
I've been sitting here debating. So, oh my gosh, I don't know that. Our knowledge of the Yuan-Ti, I mean, would Felice suspect that if she did this thing in the middle of all this, that it would stop attacking us, or does she suspect that it's too late because the battle's already begun?
You don't think it would work with this foe.
Yeah. So
it's right in the middle of battle. Changing your form now is a bit late, but
yeah.
you think potentially for the rest of the sewer, there is one issue. You did hear it garble something that you couldn't hear, and then you saw two archer figures moving south down the
Right.
passage. So possibly that could foil some of your plans, but you don't know exactly what they're doing just now. So it's uncertain.
Right.
But I just want to, make sure you remember that has happened. Those
Right.
Malisons are on their way south.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, I'm feeling like that's not such a good thing. All right. Well, she is going to what the heck? She's gonna go ahead and fire her bow. And as she draws back, you see a lightning bolt form in her. I'm having a hard time with. I don't know what's going on here. My stuff's not opening up.
I think the reason is that, it seems to me, someone is measuring. I don't know who that is.
Oh, you know what? That was me.
So I think you're in the measure thing and not in the click thing.
That shouldn't affect my character sheet, should it?
I don't
It's not
know.
letting me into my spell book. Okay, I'm gonna try. I'll just close it and see.
Just
if it
reload or something. Yeah.
Anyway, you see a lightning bolt appear where her arrow should be.
Yeah.
And no, it's not working.
Right. Do you want to just reload Roll20? Just like go up to the address bar and just
Oh right.
just reload the page and just see if that helps. I'll in the meantime click on it for you.
I did have a small little area where it said it wouldn't do anything, but that came back.
It's so weird. It's just
Lightning arrow, right?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay. And I finally got it. But you got me, so.
It's okay.
Thank you.
That's alright. The save is wrong, but that's okay. I know what the save is. Alright, so we make a deck save. And it has +3 to dex. Technically, I'm just saying, technically this is a spell? Yeah. So
Yes.
we get advantage. Oh, yeah, okay. So, yeah, you think that this is going to do, like, the best thing ever. But it's going to succeed with that advantage, which means that it'll take half damage from you, which will be 8 lightning damage. And then do you want to just quickly roll your normal D8 for your weapon attack as well? Because you will do
Right.
that as well. So it'll take 8 lightning.
Here. Where's my button? Right there.
And 8 piercing.
It's not bad.
Definitely not bad at all.
And
Alright.
then, she will move her way closer to the party. I guess she can't even. Oops,
Yeah, it's a long way.
I think it's here.
It's a big sewer.
Yes. There we go.
Alright, no worries. So we've got the brood guards. We've got
You guys
Don.
stay out of trouble for 5 minutes without me.
Alright, so Don, because he's not here just yet, he sees he sees George get devoured, and is a bit shell shocked. He's like, "No, not my George!" And just gets a bit complacent for a few minutes. And then we'll move him out of danger, though, up to there for the moment. He's like, "No, not my George." Runs out. He's like, "I'll join you in a minute. Just gotta get over this. George was my friend." And then the two archers will come here. And actually one archer will go there. The other archer will continue to run. 5, 10, 50, 20, 60 to there. Alright, so that's what's happened there. You are from that direction. It's very difficult to see them. In fact, no one's in a position where they're able to see what they're doing, those Malisons, because they're down. So you only saw them because they're at the bottom of a short staircase, but they're down another ramp after that. So this here is a ramp. So they're so far down that you cannot see them at this stage. Right. Bastian. You're up.
But we did see them leave, right?
You did see them leave, yes. You know that they couldn't have gotten too far.
Alright, Sebastian will move to flank the creature. And he'll drum his hammer on his shield as he casts Spiritual Weapon.
Yep. What's the weapon again? What type of weapon again?
Spiritual Weapon. A floating spectral weapon.
Yeah, so just a hammer or...
This would be a hammer matching Bastion's own hammer.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And he attacks with it, probably hitting for 16 versus armor class for 7 force damage.
Yep, you'll definitely hit.
And then Bastion takes the dodge action.
Okay. Controlled by...
Come on! You want to eat something? Eat me!
Bastian. Save. Alright, you should have control of that hammer now.
Perfect.
Cool. Good old Roll20. Thank you, Roll20. So yeah, and you said it did 7 force damage?
Correct.
Okay. Nice. Very good. Then that did happen, and it is the Abomination's turn.
And another dwarf rushes forward and clocks it in the knee when it starts its turn.
Yep. Rolling another
Spirit Guardians
save.
triggers for 13 radiant damage. You'll need a DC 16 Wisdom save.
Okay. And we have +2 to Wisdom. With advantage. For not enough, so he takes 13 radiant damage, of which we will regenerate 10 of, so he'll just take 3. So he regenerates health at the start of his turn, as well as taking damage from the Spirit Guardians. As this fire within him is making him regenerate. He will, I think, try and go after Bastian. Right, I'm going to make 2 attacks against you, Bastian. And then I'm going to need a saving throw from you. I'll tell you what that is in a moment. Actually, in the meantime, we'll just see if we hit first. 12 and a 25. So only one hits.
So Bastion is taking the dodge action, so this gives him disadvantage on his attacks.
None hit. Okay. So yeah, you dodge out of the way as he tries to come down there. And I need you please to make me a wisdom save. $18. And the save DC is 15. So you succeed. You feel, you hear this voice in your head, Bastian. You feel like you don't understand it, but you feel like it's trying to tell you what to do, but you're not having any of it. Don is here. Cool. He can go in when his turn is up. So thanks for that. That's good. I'm glad that he's there. Yep. That's his turn. Lana, you're up. What are you doing?
Alright, Lana's kind of like, well, you know, I'm gonna move a little closer. Let's see. We're gonna kind of go right here-ish. Like, yeah. Away from darn majigger thingy. There we go. Got her. We're gonna try and go here because totally creature won't notice her. And she's going to. She's going to ready in action. Just, she doesn't really want to draw its attention to her either on that. But if it comes towards her, she's going to stab it.
Okay. Very good. If it comes towards you, you'll stab it. Silas. Yep. Oh, he's gone. He's coming back.
I'll be back.
There you
go. I don't know why your server is the only one that does this.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. It's not bad. It is what it is. Because I talk on Discord all day long. But anyways, so I'm going to move. That's not at all what I want. Stop. Stop. What are you doing? What's going on here? Whoa. I don't. I'm clicking down and it's going up. Really?
you playing opposites.
Really? What is going on here tonight? Give me a second. Sorry. I'm just glad I'm not the only one that had weird stuff happen. Here we go. Should be loading real quick. I'll move here right next to the weapon. It's letting me do that now, which is kind of nice. But then look at my sheet. Put that one away.
Mm-hmm.
Second. There we go. I'm going to stab it with my rapier.
Yep.
Right in its fatness.
No. No, you're not.
Well, I wanted to. It wasn't a thing that happened. Try that again.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that time I hit it, it would take 10 plus 2d6 because I do get that because Bastion's within 5 feet of the creature.
Mm-hmm. Another
That's
9.
more.
Okay. He takes it.
No, wait, hold on. Yep. I think I'm gonna do a thing, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm either gonna see if I. All right. How big is this creature?
That's large.
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 So I can't. So I probably can't shove it.
Perhaps. Yeah, probably not right now. Anyway.
Yeah, it's fine. So then I'm gonna expel 1 spell slot and bam.
Another 7.
As well in radiant damage.
Okay. He takes it. He is bloodied. He probably was last turn, but he's definitely bloodied now, if not before.
And then because that's just something that happens when I hit a creature, I'm gonna use my bonus action, which I haven't used back, to use disengage. And I'm gonna use back over. So I'm not standing right next to that dumb thing.
All right. Not a bad plan. All right, Felice.
Felice hollers out, "Stop those 2 archers!" As she continues to, actually, she's gonna draw another arrow. Oh, where'd her? There we go. Draw another arrow. Oh wait, no, I don't have that anymore. Okay, that's okay. She'll just fire a plain Jane at it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, that guy. So, does a 15 hit?
Yes, it will, just barely.
So she she draws another arrow. It goes zinging by, lands in the creature, and continues to head a little bit closer in. She don't want to get. Well, yeah, she does. She wants to. She's gonna stay there.
Okay.
And that's it for her.
All right.
She doesn't have. She doesn't have extra attack.
I think you do have extra attack.
So what?
You don't have extra attack?
No, I keep thinking I do, and then I go and I look at my sheet and I don't see it listed anywhere. So.
All right. 1 second. Let me make sure of this because I mean I think all rangers get it. Yeah, all rangers get it. So yes, you do.
Okay, then I will take a second shot.
Mm-hmm. And probably after you take your second shot between now and next turn, write it in your sheet.
Right. Thank you.
You don't hit this time.
Okay. So I guess this one goes a little wide, sails off down the hallway.
Yeah. Very good though. Dawn, having arrived and back at home, welcome. It is your turn. This creature is bloodied. It has been taking a beating. It is glowing with red fire as it has swallowed your fire elemental companion.
Oh no. Hello everyone. Mary and I are trying a new setup. I'm listening. Wow, this is weird. I can hear myself on her machine. I'm using her machine's audio though. So if things sound weird on your end, let us know and we'll try to fix it.
Alright. I think things are alright.
Let's see, I believe I'm going to lead in. I just closed all of Roll20. What am I doing to myself?
I don't know.
Alright. So Dawn is going to, I believe, he's going to try to do something about, Felice just yelled about some archers up ahead, if right?
Yeah, Don would have been able to see that there were archers hiding behind this wall on either side down here, and they retreated. Upon getting to this point, that is a ramp down, and so they would have sort of disappeared from sight, but you know that they're down there, and you know that they're not too far. You can't see them right now because this is a staircase, and then that's a ramp. So they're too far down and then across to be able to see them, but you did see them move away, at least.
Ah, I see. Oh, they're just making things difficult for us.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, it's their
Don's
lair.
going to conjure a cadre of animals to his assistance. Let me pull the spell for that.
Summon 12d8 kittens.
Kittens, yeah, I'm just gonna say.
Kittens
Just
attack
like, meow.
in the water.
Yes, Lil. Are you joining the game? Is Stephen summoning
Oh,
you?
I don't have that one prepared. Huh. Interesting.
Come on, up you get. There you go. Here you go. Is that better?
Okay, well, he's at the very least going to move up.
Sure.
Looks like he can move just in front of Felice.
Beautiful.
Hike. And from here... This is a tough tactical situation that we're in.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm slowing things down.
No, that's alright.
Um,
You just got home, so it's like you got a lot to think about.
Yeah, so Don's gonna see that the archers pop down and that they're doing this kind of guerrilla warfare. So I think I'm gonna have them prepare an action. This might not reach them. No, it won't reach them, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, well, sorry. Not a whole lot of great options for me as a dude. Don's going to... Sorry,
Bastion.
normally I'd have this studied out ahead of time. When he passes, or when he gets to Felice and standing next to her, he's going to cast guidance on her. He's not entirely sure. He's going to tell her that Felice, the situation's getting sticky. We need to find some way to turn this to our advantage. And as part of that, he's going to confer his guidance upon her. That'll be the end of Don's turn.
Alright, no worries. Thanks for that. Sorry. So, okay, it's the Malison's turn, the Archer's turn. So, they are going to get the stuff. And this one's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so you can see this one that's re-emerged from down below, and she is carrying a pod in her hands instead of her bow. And she will toss it at Silas.
Just to point out,
She
as she
will
makes that
take...
movement,
Yeah.
she.
Yeah. Got it. D plus. The Malison has a wisdom of 1. Oh, she saves and takes half damage. that'll be 3. Alright.
One of the dwarfs trips and awkwardly runs into her.
Yeah. Alright, she's gonna toss this pod at Silas. She has plus.
Is this an attack roll?
Yes, it is. Wow. Do one of those hit? 19 or 23?
I believe my go upstream. The 19 does not, 23 does.
Okay. So, it hits you. And just splashes. I don't want to get too crazy here, but the best way to describe this is embryonic fluid all over you.
Sorry, you kind of phased out on me for a second. What's all over me?
Embryonic fluid.
Oh, gross.
Yeah,
Love.
it's lovely. Yes.
That's gonna be great in the armor.
Oh yeah. So, I need you to make me a con save, please.
Con save.
Yeah.
Team.
18. You'll take half. Alright, so, do you have, so it'll be, what's that, 7, 8, 14, poison, and the rest, so 16 in acid. So if you've got resistance to either of those, you won't take the full 30. If not, you'll take, you'll take half damage anyway, because you saved. So 15 if you've got.
I think 15.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever these extra hit points were, are not there anymore.
Yeah, that was from aid. Bastion's
Yes, that
aid.
was-
Yeah, so yeah, you get splashed, and it's really sticky. You are slowed, and that is its turn.
You're not gonna like this.
Cool, and if there's nothing else, we'll go to Bastion.
Okay. So you did have antitoxin, which gives you advantage on saving throws. I don't think that gives you resistance to damage. Anyways.
No, I don't think so. I'll double check it, but yeah.
It's alright. Bastion will move 5 feet. He'll also move his hammer 5 feet as a bonus action and have it attack the archer.
Alright, sounds good.
25 versus AC for 9 force damage.
Oh, well, you definitely hit. There's not a question about that. For 9 force, she takes it.
And he again takes the dodge action.
Beauty. The Abomination, who starts his turn, and is your, how long is your, are your dwarves sitting there? Concentration? Okay.
It's concentration and it lasts up to 10 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, and you haven't been hit, because you keep taking the dodge action. Very wise, sir.
Tactics.
Indeed. Alright, so this is what's going to happen. He's going to disengage. Going to move to here. Lana,
Keep in mind,
you prepared an
Yeah,
attack.
she's stabbing.
What did you say? Sorry, keep in mind.
She's stabbing.
that, and keep in
Stabbing
mind
is
when he's moving within the sphere of influence, his speed is halved.
Yeah,
29.
that's fine. Thank you.
29 to hit.
Oh yeah.
That didn't hit. Right?
That would be scary as all F.
Right. Anyways, so that's 9 points piercing. It'll need to make a con save, DC 15 or higher. And does sneak attack work on attacks of opportunity?
It's not an attack of opportunity. It's a prepared action, and yes. However, it cannot be poisoned, so I do not need to make that save.
Alright, well then, it's going to take a total of 33 points of piercing damage.
Ow. Okay.
Take that.
She's like, ah! And then kind of in the frozen, I should back up.
Alright, then in that case, I need you to make 3 dexterity saves, Lana, and I need Don to make me 3, and I need Felice to make me 1. Alright, the DC for this
I rolled a 19.
is 15, so I need 3 checks from each of you. 3 saving throws.
Alright, so 19.
I'd like to point out those are some amazing saves right there.
Yeah, holy gosh. Don just doesn't, he just dodges out of everything.
Lana rolls 319.
Not to be shown up.
3 19s?
Yep.
Alright.
Because her deck saves is the natural talent thing, and so since she rolled under a 10 on all 3 rolls, it counts as 10 plus 5 plus 4.
Alright, and yes, you roll the d4 for guidance on this saving throw, Chris.
You can choose when to use that, Chrissy.
Yeah, sorry. If you want to, you could.
Well, I only rolled a 10, so.
Well, do you think a 12 or a 14 might make me enough to get you the save? Might be worth it.
Okay, I think I'm gonna hold it. Thanks.
Okay, so there were 3 saves. Each, so I'll just roll 3 times. You'll take half damage. Whoa, that didn't work. 2d8. Right, the right thing, Matt. Roll 2d8. Okay, so for those that saved, you'll take 2 and then 3 and then 8. For those that didn't, which is just Felice, you'll only take you'll take 16, Felice, because it was only 1 save for you, but it was the last one.
Okay.
And Felice is the only one that failed any of that, right? Everyone. So Felice, you are also slowed as goop, embryonic fluid, just splatters everywhere, and you are sticky and gross, and it's dead.
Oh wow. Did Lana just kill it when it walked by? She's stabbed.
Absolutely. It just exploded.
That's hilarious. I just watch her slice and duck as it just spews everywhere, getting her whole party oops, sorry.
Yeah, we're standing there. And she steps out of the way.
Alright, in the space where it was, Don, there is a living flame.
George, you're alive.
It is about the size of a cricket ball,
baseball size, I think, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's the same size.
And I'm like, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so baseball, yes.
You're so
You damn Americans.
Don't worry, it's still not the worst sport. That would be golf.
Yeah. No, it's about the size of baseball. Yeah. And it's grooting. It's grooting. It is a verb now. It's grooting.
Lana's gonna be enchanted. Oh my god!
Oh, you poor little George. You was so afraid.
Oh, it's gonna go through the angst phase too. Thank you.
Very quickly.
All right. So it's sitting there in its space. Obviously, initiative is still in play because we have these archers. That was its action because it was moving. So we're up to Lana. Lana, it's your turn again because what you just did was a prepared action. So off you go.
Yes, off she goes. 5, 10, 15, 30. Alright, can she stand in the same square as the hammer jigger?
Can she stand in the same square as the hammer majigger? Yeah, because it can float.
Ooh, that looks like an archer, right?
Yes. She doesn't have a bow on her right now because she just threw a pod at Silas that sort of.
But isn't she slowed?
Yes, she is slowed.
Why?
You know, because of that goop that came out of the fucking monster.
No, because Lana saved.
Oh, okay.
And the stab with a 24 to hit, 8 piercing, and it's a con save of 15 if they are.
Okay, she. 1 second while I go back to it. The Melson is also immune to the poison, so doesn't need to make the save. But she does definitely hit, and she does take 8 damage.
Nice. 6 hit and go. WTF? Why is the poison not taking? But yeah, 8 points, and Bastion's nearby. Hello, sneak attack. So make that 27.
Another 19.
Bastion swings his hammer and she ducks into the blade.
Nice.
Alright, the archer is bloodied.
Archer is
Bloodied.
awesome. And Lana's kind of stuck there. But she has faith in Bastion! He got her back.
Silas, it's your turn. So we have one archer that you can see that threw the goop on you. You have one archer that you still can't see that you feel like might be on its way with another pod. And you've got the living flame that is baseball sized and grooting. And you're muted.
Damn you. So from here, I can't see the other archer, right?
The other one, no.
Let's see, I can't do that. I am going to this is bloody, right? Yeah, I will move up.
Now,
I can only move 15 feet, right?
yeah,
So slowed.
yeah.
Alright, yeah, I'm gonna cast Scorching Ray at her.
Okay. As you do so, I need you. How many rays are you going to shoot out?
Cast 3.
Okay, so well, just because you can heighten it, that's all. So you're gonna do just the normal cast. So what I
Yeah,
need,
I don't have third level spells yet.
okay, what I need from you to start off, please,
Uh-huh.
before you roll, is to tell me high or low 3 times, and we will resolve that in a sec. So high or low, high or low, high or low.
I will go high, low, high.
High, low, high.
Mm-hmm.
High, low, high. So you got 1 wrong and 2 correct.
Mm-hmm.
One of the scorching rays does not target the creature, the first scorching ray. Instead, it shoots into the living flame instead.
Oh, cool.
So roll your damage.
So, I'll cast the spell. 1 second. Yeah. So that is 7. And now, do we just take 7 fire damage for all of them?
Yeah, I'm just gonna do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine.
So it's 7 fire damage for all of the rays.
I will modify that spell. Remind me at the end of the session too, so that we can get all of them in there
Okay.
on the same thing. But for now, I don't. That's fine. So 7. Okay. So he started off. Let me just quickly roll. It'll be
18 versus AAC.
yeah. So 9, and then another 7 is 16. So there's 2, which is 14 fire damage to the archer. She is very close to death at this point. Anything else that you would like to do, Silas?
I'm going to move right here. I'll move right here.
Mm-hmm.
And in my turn right
Okay. So when the scorching ray hits the living flame that is currently grooting, it grows. It grows 7 centimeters. So that's doubled in size.
Wonderful. And he looks over his shoulder, and then it's kind of that, like, looks at the fire elemental, but then sees Don behind the fire elemental. It kind of gives him just a wink, and then looks back at
Yeah, so it's now a basketball.
but you can't see any of that because he has a helmet on.
Okay. Felice, you're up.
On the helmet.
Yeah, so you wink and then you just realize, crap, no one can see me.
Ew,
Yeah?
stuff's disgusting.
What?
Elise is just reacting to the goop.
Yeah, it's really gross.
So, so slow. Does that mean that she's like half?
Just half speed, yeah. You can do your actions and what's not. I'm not going to actually do the spell slow. It's more condition slow. So yeah, it's just your speed.
So, does that mean I go half the distance? Or
Yeah. So your movement is half, yeah.
all right. So, all right. So she's going to move in a little further, and she's like, "Man, I feel like I'm walking through mud." And she's gonna draw an arrow and knock it, but she's gonna hold because, well, for one thing, is this blocking our vision, or is this just
No. So what happened was when the fire elemental came in to it and attacked it, it did damage and burst all of the pods. So
Okay.
all the pods are just on the ground, and there's fluid all in that area, which is from the pods. That it's just so it's just fleshy leaves, for want of a better word, that are just laid out on the ground, covered in goop.
Okay. So she's gonna, just because there's so many of the party there now, she's gonna just be ready to fire off an arrow, but she's gonna hold her action.
So as you come past the living flame, could you make me a dex save, please?
Oh. Oh. Okay. Hope this goes better. Oh, yeah.
Alright, yeah, you feel the warmth coming past, but you take no damage. And as it continues to groot. Done.
All right. Sorting my stuff again, but I think I have a better idea of what I want to do.
Yep.
If I remember correctly, I produced a flame earlier, and then I still have it in my hand.
I believe so. Yeah, I don't think you released it. What are you producing the flame toward?
Don will hurl that across and over to, I believe that one archer next to Bastion Lawn is still visible.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, you hit.
He'll hurl that at
15 damage, kills the Malison. Zoop.
And then Don will move forward the group, join the rest of the group, and indicate to George, George, you feeling better? If you are, let's move on ahead again.
George doesn't respond to you. In fact, you're not getting a George vibe.
Donald, in that case, Don will kind of do the side glance, do a little bit of a sweet walk, let's move along. This room's clear, let's keep going. Let me see, I'll measure out where he's moving as soon as we get
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
what kind of thing?
It's a dex save to pass the living flame without issue.
Hey everybody, there might be a small problem in the George department, so let's move along, eh?
Yeah, you absolutely save. That's not a problem.
That's the end of Don's turn.
Okay. So, the last Malison, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's fine. Comes up the stairs, enters into Bastion's range.
11 radiant.
5 radiant. Even though they've got a lower dex modifier than the Abomination, they've been doing really well on their dex saves. Well, wisdom saves, rather. So, yep. She takes the 5. She also has a pod. She will throw this one at Bastion.
Alright. Bastion will hold up his shield and try to deflect it as he
You
sidesteps.
hold up your shield and deflect it. And it just sort of bursts upon your shield. Is your holy symbol in your shield, Bastion?
One of them is.
All right. Which one?
Let me check my equipment.
Yeah, yes.
This normally isn't a problem.
I know. Sorry, I mean... It's not the type of question you get asked very often.
Alright. So, what I've imagined Bastion to have essentially is one on his person hanging from his neck and another on his shield. However, if you'd like it to be just the shield only, I'm okay with that. Maybe he forgot it in his haste. Because I don't have either written down in my inventory.
Alright, well, how about this? Let's say for this day, that your other one you have on you, but it's not equipped, like it's in your bag, and you've just got the one on your shield for now, like what's equipped. And like I just want to refresh. So the deities that you worship are the drunken dwarf gods, right? Like that's...
Yes, if I was a dwarven paladin, these would be the deities I worship.
Right.
Something similar to Morden, if that exists in your world.
Yeah, okay. So... and your devoutness, what does that look like? So you've prayed to them, you know, you've cast spells to communicate with them. So what's your relationship like? Like, are you close? Do you talk to them every day? Like, what's your relationship?
I would say it's similar to trying to talk to your ancestors, where you would bring up questions and ask things with them, or ask for guidance or cite religious texts. But generally, it comes down to Bastion worships by being a man, and he believes that his honor and his tenacity are his true forms of worship, rather than prayers of devotion or groveling at someone's feet.
All right.
While his gods do answer him once in a while, it tends to be when it's a very important occasion, such as when he casts Commune
Mm-hmm.
to ask them a deep, important question.
All right. So I'm going to ask you one more question. Apologies. So you've talked about that you're on this journey of redemption, that I think you've said in the past that while you may not remember exactly what you did, you have this feeling that you did something bad, and that, you know, you've been on the path to right whatever wrongs they were. Is that right?
He would remember the deed that he did. I've never gone into specifics about it because it wasn't important.
Mm-hmm.
But if you'd like it to be vague, I'm okay with it being vague.
I mean, it's totally up to you. It's your character.
Okay, he would remember it, and I can give you that information when you want it. It just hasn't been pertinent.
Yeah, okay. So, I don't need to necessarily know, but I'm gonna do something here. So I'm gonna trigger this memory for you here. Now, when you've talked about the journey of redemption, how far along that do you feel like Bastion is at the moment?
He doesn't know, and that thought terrifies him.
Right. So I'm gonna give you.
Doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not a question he can really get a yes or no response to because he feels he hasn't reached it yet.
Right.
So he feels like he's on the right path, but how far he's gone, he just doesn't know.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to give you some information here then. What Bastion didn't know is that he was significantly far down the path of redemption. And while he still has this desire to continue and he doesn't feel like he's reached yet, I'm going to explain it like this. It's like when you don't realize what you already have because you've been developing what you have over time. It's like if you had a bank account, right, that was always getting money from directly out of your pay and you never looked at it, so it's accruing but you never see it, right, until like however many years later. So what I'm going to describe for you is that this journey of redemption has been accruing for you, just like interest in your bank account of redemption. You've been accruing this interest ever since you set upon this journey, and ever since you started to really revere these drunken dwarven deities and all of these things. So that's been accruing. Because your other holy symbol is currently in your backpack, and because the one that you've equipped right now has been covered in this goop, you get this, it's like a cutoff from the journey, from your progress in the journey. All of a sudden, you feel bad about your life. All of a sudden, even though you've been looking for redemption, you've been confident. You've been like, I'm on my way, I'm getting there. And even more so because this interest has been accruing. But now, it's like suddenly your connection to that interest is cut off. And you don't feel that bolstering, that goodness, that I'm achieving somethingness right now. And it's just in this instant that feeling has changed for you. So tell me about what that does to you.
Devastating. Bastion will drop to his knees. He'll end his concentration on his spell. And he'll just hit the ground. He'll say, "No! No, what did I do? No, it can't be!"
Probably you know, or at least, I don't know how well in your mind you are at the moment. You did feel the impact of this goop upon your shield. And as a DM to a player, it is definitely that goop that is the catalyst of this change. It has defiled the symbol that you have emblazoned on your shield. And that is the reason, the story reason why you feel, or why Bastion feels cut off. Now, if Bastion, I don't mind if you want to save to see if you can figure that out, or if you want to roleplay just feeling devastated. You tell me what you think is most apt in the situation.
I think while he could figure it out logically, emotionally, it was a punch to the gut.
Mm-hmm.
Emotionally, he's not prepared for it.
Right.
It's kind of like having your pants pulled down in the supermarket. You're more concerned about you no longer have your pants on rather than, oh, someone was behind me and gave him a yoink.
Right. So how I'm gonna... so there's a couple of options. While this goop is on your shield, you are going to feel disconnected. And however you want to roleplay that is up to you. To clean your shield, it's going to take at least 10 minutes. Okay, so you can't do so in battle. You could reach into your backpack if you feel that Bastion would have the emotional reserve, or if someone encourages him to do so or something, if someone else recognizes what's happened, then that's a possibility. I'll leave that up to you. It is your turn now. So don't make this too hard on yourself, but roleplay it for interest.
So from the way that Josh said his reaction to Bastion, it sounded to me like when somebody like breaks something or whatnot, where they know exactly what happened, but their first response is kind of one of denial, or like, no,
Right.
that didn't just happen. Kind of, so like fitting what he said with kind of his knowledge of such.
Right. That sounds cool. So it's your turn, Bastian, to roleplay however this looks for you and what you're going to do and what's not, and then we'll move over to Lana.
Alright. Bastion will drop his hammer and he'll look up. And he'll say, "You!" And he will charge the snake archer.
Yeah.
And he will batter it with his iron fists.
Cool. Yep, you hit. 5 bludgeoning.
There's a crackle of thunder as he hits for 5 bludgeoning thunder damage. And it's just pow right to the kisser.
Nice.
And that is Bastion's turn.
Okay. Lana, you saw Bastian take a knee and just shout, "No, this can't be happening," and then lift his head and charge this creature, dropping his weapon, ignoring his summoned weapon, and just punching it with his fists. How are you reacting, and what are you doing on your turn?
She's gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna join in on this as well. Assuming just over enthusiasm for strength threat, and so she'll roll a 14 to hit. Is that hit?
Yeah.
Excellent. So 7 points of piercing.
Mm-hmm.
1 for 28 points of piercing damage, and she will then bonus action disengage right behind Bastion, going friendly tap. Good job. You got this.
Alright, the archer is bloodied. And Silas, you also have seen this, experienced this. What do you do? Welcome back.
Well, I've learned that every time I go for mute for a while, I'm gonna have to jump out and get back in. So I am going to kind of stand in awe a little bit of the way that this metal man has reacted
Yeah.
to that, and wondering why I didn't. And kind of does that, like, you're covered in goop, and just like flings his hand down, and just a whole bunch of shit just splashes on the floor. And he reaches in and grabs onto his rapier, and he will also just move right up into here. Okay, so I can move that, 'cause I'm still slowed, right?
Yeah.
And I move to there, and I'm going to rapier it, hopefully to death.
Right.
Um,
So for those of you that are slowed, you're slowed, and for Bastian as well. The goop lasts on you or on the shield for 10 minutes. So 9 piercing damage.
okay, I'm gonna do one of my smites. That's important, that one. Alright, I'm gonna just do the good old Divine Smite. I'm gonna use a first spot to do so. And so that is this.
6. Yep.
And then I'm gonna swing again.
Okay. Yep, you hit.
1 for 9.
9.
Total of 18.
Not quite dead, but very close.
24 damage total. Oh, and I have hit it. So I am going to shield bash it for 5, and I think it moves 5 feet with a shove.
Do you want it to go down the stairs?
No, I want to push it directly away from us towards that wall.
Okay.
So I'd like to end up over here.
Mm-hmm.
That moved out of my range, so do I get an opportunity attack?
No, not with force movement.
Okay. And I stand there looking pretty proud of myself.
Cool. Felice, you can see that it's very close to dead, but you also saw what happened with Bastion. I'd like to hear from you how you respond.
So I missed a lot, but it being the archer or it being George?
So, the archer is nearly dead. You saw what happened with Bastion. I'd like to hear your response to that. And
Okay, I missed what happened with Bastion. He was just describing what he was doing when I lost my sound.
Okay, so Bastion basically lost connection with his god. He took a knee, shouted no, and then recovered by standing and charging the creature, but not with his weapon, with his fists. The living flame is still there. It hasn't grown since it became a basketball size, and it's still hot. So yeah, it's up to you. It's your turn.
Okay. Holy cow. Okay. Police looks around for a water source.
Well, there's plenty of embryonic fluid.
Oh, yeah, she's not touching that. That's gross. But she just came out of water. She practically drowned in it.
Right, yeah, there's water just up there, yeah.
But it's a ways at this point, right?
Yeah, it is, yep.
Okay. So she's not confident this is gonna help, but she's just gonna try to take a shot at the little ball of flame with her arrow that she knocked earlier.
Okay.
And she'll see what happens and decide if she's gonna take her second shot or not. But I don't have access to Roll20 right now, so if you could
Sure, I
do that.
I can do that for you. Just with your longbow?
Yes, please.
You don't hit it, but you've got an extra attack. So.
Okay. She'll go ahead and fire it. Ooh, I see the problem.
You still don't hit. The Groot just Groots. He just dodges out of the way as he's dancing. Just the living flame is just dodging out of the way of these arrows. It's Matrix moment. Woo! He does the tossing the hands back behind his head, and his whole body just sort of curves, and the arrows fly over him.
Oh, that is just. And so she'll knock another arrow and get ready for her next opportunity.
Okay, done. You see the last remaining archer alive, but barely. And Felice has shot at the living flame that was George, but isn't responding like George. What do you want to do?
Alright. So Don's gonna whip out another miniature flame in his hand and lob that globular piece of fiery pain over at the remaining archer.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna, while doing this, he's gonna tell Felice, don't antagonize him, just go this way. Nods towards the rest of the group, and then goes back to his walking, but with a purpose, hurriedly move away from our living flame Groot.
Yeah. Alright, well, you destroy the last remaining archer in this room, which effectively brings us to the end of combat. However, Bastion, would you do anything against this living flame before we move on? You're the last person. Let me ask everybody. Would anyone want to do anything against this living flame, or do you want to? Let's actually talk about it as so combat's finished. Obviously, it's there. How do we talk about it? How do we respond to it? Let's roleplay this.
Don will make the case. I guess continue what he was saying against with Felice, of that. I think George is no longer listening to me. This sort of thing is best left on its own until it kind of works itself out.
All right.
And if pressed for details, he'll say he's pretty sure.
Shot at it then.
All right.
And if pressed for details, he'll say he's pretty sure it'll return to the elemental plane after a period of time. Pretty sure.
Okay.
Maybe. We're in the sewers. It'll exhaust itself one way or
If not, I can always send it back early.
let nature.
I'd rather
take
not
it.
waste the spells now, but if nature takes its course, there's no reason to.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well,
There's definitely no way this could get out of our control. It's not like there's anything like clouds of flammable gas down here.
nah. You're good.
I had such confidence in you. Now you got.
What?
All right. So we won't antagonize the living flame. It just dances happily where it is. It doesn't move after you or.
Wait. Sorry, I was trying to do things when we talk. So Silas, again, he looked at it rather funny when he first saw it,
Right.
and he does start to approach it. He does. He walks this direction, and he's just looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
The spells that he gets from his deity or whatever, I mean, from the Phoenix, are all fire based, and he just keeps looking at it, and he puts his hand kind of like towards it, you know what I mean, and he kind of thinks real hard and just gets into that place really quickly where he talks to the Phoenix or the entity in which he worships, and he sees in his mind fire and more fire, and he feels it welling up in him, and he opens up the front cage on his helmet, and anybody that's looking at him that maybe hasn't seen him in a little bit realizes that there's scales all over his face.
Plum-colored scales.
Yeah, purple scales. He's just staring at it longingly. Like it's very fascinating.
Okay. Does anyone want to do anything or say anything to Silas, as he's clearly fascinated by this?
Silas? What you doing there, friend?
That's the symbol of my God. So it's just hard to not look at that there, please.
Is it
Well, why don't you look over here for a second?
And he looks towards her, and he looks towards her, and she's got way more goop on her than he does. He goes, "You need a shower."
Yes, I do.
Okay, who's ready for some prestidigitation?
Actually, at that, Bastion will finish rummaging in his pack. He'll pull out a cleansing stone, and he'll try to use it on his shield.
Ooh. Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, we have one.
Yeah,
How
absolutely.
well does it work?
Cleansing stone. Let's take a real quick look at it, because I forgot.
All the notes I had was use action to remove dirt and grime from your person.
When touching the stone, you can use an action to activate it, remove dirt and grime from your garments and your person. Alright, yeah, it just, instead of 10 minutes, using a cleansing stone will take an action.
Seeing people starting to clean themselves off, Don will interject with the, "What are you doing? It's all natural."
Yeah.
Kind of rub his hands down his body. This is really great for your skin.
Lana just little grime.
Well, I don't know about you, Don, but I am not fond of walking with lead boots and feeling like I'm in 10 feet of mud.
Oh, but we smell great.
Dawn,
Ugh.
We do.
sand, dirt, broken glass, all those are acceptable in soap, but I draw the line at acid.
Right, so, Bastian, while your shield has been cleansed, and all the goop is off it, currently you are still out of touch, and what you feel is, even though you don't necessarily eat or drink, sometimes you do just to make others judge you less, but you feel the need to drink alcohol before the connection resumes.
If only I had a drinking horn that had unlimited alcohol.
Oh wait, here's one in the back of my pack.
It's filled with oil.
Hey Matt, check your DMs real quick. Just real quick.
Check my.
DMs in Discord. Just so I mean, so you can. I'm sure you caught one.
Oh yeah, I'm good with that. Cool.
So, he does even walk a little closer, but he kind of walks diagonally, kind of towards Felice here. But he's still very much engrossed in this, in this ever-growing flame right now.
Okay. Sure. Does anyone have any alcohol on them?
It's alright. Bastion wouldn't ask for some.
Lana rolls out alcohol and goes, "Well, this last bottle is supposed to be a gift, but hey, if this will help, there you go."
You might not get your habit check, so.
Lana assumes the taste is alcoholic, but Mary assumes the taste is alcoholic. Lana would know if it is or isn't.
This is just Taze, right?
Yeah.
Alright, well, if Bastian asks, Lana has Taze there that she could offer. It is alcoholic, but it's...
It's not the good dwarven stuff.
right, it's just spiced wine.
And it's also not the
Bastion
one
wouldn't
Unless
ask for
he
alcohol.
stashed something a long time ago, and there might be very much dwarven quality. Yeah, that's all
So,
she can offer.
it's pretty, like, I don't want to rob you too much, but until
No,
you've...
it's okay. Like, it was my decision to block it with my shield. The sidestep it, but no.
But you do have the other one, you do have the amulet, so if you put that on, that would change things too. So, it's just this, while you're just holding this symbol, your connection is disrupted. So if you want to grab your amulet, you can. If not, you can't cast any of your spells.
Which is why I was going to roleplay. Let me roll a check on that.
Cool.
Would you say intelligence, wisdom? What makes sense to you?
I feel like wisdom. I feel like this is more of a religious sort of like internal thing rather than intelligence.
We could roll knowledge for religion.
Yeah, I'm good with a religion check.
I'm good with those. Give me a moment to find it. There
Of
we go.
course. Ooh. So what I can give you is that you don't think that your connections complete like gone forever. You feel like it's disrupted. You don't
Alright.
feel the urge to put on your other amulet, nor do you think that that'll help. You might remember that it's there, but it's not like, oh, that's going to fix anything. You're like, so instead, what I'll give you is this, this desire for, you know, like redemption is just ever stronger for you at the moment. Like I have to make up for this because of it, not because of me, but because of what it did to me. I have to now make up extra recompense. I have to say the rosary more, sort of thing. I have to do more because of it, not because of me. So you don't feel like you're necessarily at fault. You feel like it has broken your connection temporarily. You feel like you will get it back, but you don't know that putting your amulet on will affect that.
Alright, that makes sense to me. So Bastion will pipe up and he'll say, I'm afraid my spells have been revoked for the day. You'll have to rely on my shield and hammer.
Now you guys have seen Bastion in action for a little while now. You've gotten to know him decently well. He's always acted honorably, and there's nothing that you can think of right now other than seeing this pod smash on his shield. Why? You don't know why that would. You don't know enough to know that has affected this, right? Has affected his connection, and he's telling you that his spells aren't working right now. I don't know how you respond to that, but you can role play that if you want. If you don't think that that's important to your character, that's fine. But I'm just putting it out there that might be something that interests your characters or character. And it does look like to those around that Silas is still ever more like just looking at this living flame and just seems to be taken by it. Certainly not magically, like he's not compelled, but something inside of him is compelling him. You're not sure. You probably can draw.
So with that,
yeah.
With that info, yeah, Lana's not. She's kind of like, okay, about the spells thing. Doesn't really know what to say or do or think. Just kind of like, okay, must be tired or something. Cause, well, that's what happens sometimes. Spellcasters cast the spells or whatnot. So maybe he's spent for the moment.
Right.
She doesn't know, but she is definitely intrigued with Silas's mesmerization, and a thought comes to her, and she's like, marches over and just like, well, what do you see?
So before Silas responds, last time, and I didn't reiterate this time, but last time, Silas, you felt this uncomfortable warmth inside of you, if you remember, and that is amplified a little bit with the warmth on the outside that's coming from this living flame. So you feel even more uncomfortable, like you just can't. Yeah,
absolutely. And he takes off his helmet because it's hot.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Lana, you can see his whole face is covered in these plum scales.
Like, scales?
Like I because of that glaive that he was with, that happened to him.
So he has no hair at the moment. He is covered entirely in scales.
He looks drastically different, and he's been wearing the helmet the entire time that he's been around you guys.
Yeah, so you haven't really noticed it's sort of covered his features, and you just thought, oh yeah, he's wearing a helmet, but he was concealing it.
Concerned in the sense of like, what? This may not be the time for this, but are you okay?
Yeah, it's and he looks back again, and in his eyes, whatever form, if it's a little George or whatever, that's not what he sees. He sees a small phoenix flapping its wings, just floating there in front of him.
Yeah, it's just a little figure the size of a basketball now, but it doesn't look
Right.
anything like a bird nor a phoenix to anyone else.
Right, but to his eyes, that's what he sees.
Okay.
Is that what he says?
Yeah, and I see the white phoenix. There, Lana.
Okay.
It's everything. You know that, right?
What?
It's everything, Lana.
Well,
That
yeah, for you. It's been your new symbol. Okay. What does that mean?
I think I want to touch it. And he looks up at her, and
She just like has this really scrunched, pouty look on her face of like, that sounds like a stupid idea. Just.
Well, you can feel the heat from here, from where you are.
Yeah.
Bastian and Don can't from where they are, but if they move to a similar distance, like within 15 feet of the flame, you can feel it.
and when Silas looks up at you, it's in that same like look that he used to give you back in the day, per se, like in that just loving look up to you. Not that he wants you; it's not like that, but it's just you're a very pertinent person. You're his first love, so on and so forth. So
Right.
he just looks up to you, very vulnerable, and says, "That's me." And he does, and he moves closer to it. So now I'm within 5 feet of it.
Right. So, just
You
to...
survived a 200-foot fall, so clearly fire's on, right?
Because he saved me, Lana. And I do, and I go and I put my hand on the fire.
Okay. Make me a con check because a con save because you're literally reaching into the fire. That's not a deck save. Make it with disadvantage for me, please.
Sure. No worries.
At least try to dive on him and keep him from touching it.
No, that's already happened. I'm sorry.
I mean, you can pull him away after the save, yeah.
Shades of another game, Corey.
No, I know. I mean, but it's you'll see what's happening. There's a whole reason for it.
Right. So,
Yeah. 8.
yeah, okay. Whoa, my computer's going crazy. Why are you doing this?
Oh, cool. Now it's your turn. Seems like we've all had something happen weird today.
Alright. Okay. It just had a moment there. So yeah, let's see. Go back onto here. And because of your whisper here, I've decided on what I'm gonna do as far as your damage. You failed on your save. You might recognize the damage that I'm rolling against you. You take 19. 19 fire damage.
Hey, one more DM look real quick. There's one DM. Yeah, and I'll take that. No problem.
Cool. And then Felice pulls you away.
Oh, I will resist her from doing it.
All right. I don't. Do you want to like? Do you want to roll opposing saves? To opposing checks?
But did you see what I was saying?
Yeah.
Because you see what I'm going with, so.
Yeah. You can. It might hurt, but yeah.
Yeah. It's So if you want to do opposing, that's fine.
It's up to you, Felice. You're the one that wanted to stop him. He seems very inclined to resist you. So, what do you think? Would you try to save him from this?
Yeah, yes, I think she would.
All right, so make opposing strength checks. So each just
Can you
roll.
roll that for me, please?
Yeah.
Just a strength save, or is it a strength
Check. I think.
check? So it's just a d20. I'll just roll
My
d20.
dex against his strength.
So yeah.
Oh,
Plus 2.
that's gross. That's the number. Because he's not very strong. He's dexterous. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Felice, yeah, no, he's totally resisting you at this stage.
Very not maliciously at all. Pushes you away. Oh, like almost hugs around that fire, and pulls it what looks like into his body.
Right.
And I would like somehow for that to become part of me, quote unquote, if you can do that.
Yeah.
Again, there's a whole reason for this.
So what I'm gonna do then, is we'll do this.
And we've probably got
Yeah, not long.
less than. Yeah, not long.
That's fine.
But they also haven't talked yet. So
That's okay. Yeah, all of you can see that Silas somehow has taken the fire into himself, the living flame into himself. It stopped dancing and it's gone into him. Now, you can roleplay that. Felice, having failed at keeping him away, you and all the rest of us, we can hear some movement coming from deeper into the sewers. And Felice, you were the one with the scroll, and you realize if you don't cast that very soon, that you're probably going to be found out.
Right.
So
I whip roll back out, or whip it out, I guess. I take it out of its case, and I read it, and concentrate on it and whatever they told me to do to cast it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even explain, I just do it.
You don't explain. Alright.
Plenty of time for explanations later.
Cool. So everyone suddenly looks like a UNT.
I kind of look like a UNT just normally right now.
And you look even more like a UNT.
Yeah. So can my scale still be purple?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, fun. So yeah, so that's the thing, and he turns around after that, and there is a scorch mark in the shape of a phoenix on the front of his armor.
Is there a way for me to reply to those PMs that you've been sending on Discord?
Yeah. Just there should be just a type. A type.
I don't know how to do that.
So I have on here. It says I sent you the last message, and then right below there.
Oh yeah, I can do that. Right. So that's inside of you. What I've just posted. Until you can somehow release that, those effects are what is going to happen to you. I'm going to rely on you to do that because it's too much for me.
Yeah, absolutely, and that is absolutely fantastic. I love it. And again, there's an end game to all that. So
cool. So I know that you guys don't have much time. So feel free to leave. We are all in the shape of UNT. Does anyone want to roleplay being surprised by this? Obviously, you've seen Felice take out the scroll and speak the words on the scroll, and then all of you have changed shape. So what do you want to do or say or whatever? Let's at least facilitate that.
We haven't gotten the link yet, so I'll stay until we get the link, and then we just
all right.
go that way.
Yeah, sure.
So it's I think Silas is not gonna even notice that. He's far too engrossed in what's going on.
All right. Well, everyone else has also changed shape, not just you.
Okay.
So Lana, who you were just looking at, is
Yeah.
now a Yuan-Ti, or she looks like a Yuan-Ti.
So I do have a kind of maybe a just a kind of a shitty grin on my face, and I look down at her, and then I go, "Whoa, that was," and his the whole chest plate of his armor is glowing red at this point. And he just looks down at her and he goes, "You look like one of them." Lana May, you look like a Yuan Ti. Do I? Is she here?
I think so. Just muted at the moment. So I posted the description of the spell as well. So we've just got illusory appearance. If you want to make a charisma save to stop what Felisa's doing, you could. I suggest against it because this will get us through the sewer quicker and we can like have surprise. But if you want to roleplay that, by all means, disguise as physical clothing and appearances and equipment, etc., etc., etc.
Sorry, guys. I know that's like short notice, but the librarian thought we'd get a lot farther disguised as one of them. So I had a meeting with some wizards. She just kind of smiled. Like,
That's pretty cool. Wait, so I look like this too?
yeah, except. And I look down at my hands and I see like whatever color we are.
Like
And
green.
I look at him and say, "You're kind of purple."
Yeah, that's a problem. We'll talk about that when we get out of
Oh yes, we will.
John's like, what? What? Guys, I think he starts scratching his arms, like he got bit by a. What's going on? I think I might have been poisoned. But no, I can't be poisoned. Oh, this
Sorry,
was.
Don. You. It's a spell of seeming. We look like Yuan-Ti now. It should make it a little easier for us to get in here and get what we need.
Yeah, we'll be one of them. And he picks up the helmet and puts it back on his head.
None of them.
Not one of them. Yeah, and it's uncomfortably hot still.
Oh yeah, it is. Like that's every round, by the way.
Oh, I'm sure.
Enjoy that.
How are you doing that? Alright, so he's still wearing his armor, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Even though he looks like a Yuan-Ti of like a village.
Right. Yeah. You're just wearing. Yeah. So you're wearing your armor.
So
And even if you're not, this effect continues because it's inside of you rather than in your armor.
Alright, so I'll take the first one. And then he's going to realize that this is not okay.
It's not okay.
But he was propelled, so 2d8.
Alright, so for the rest of us, let's put us over here for a sec.
Still no link, so we're good.
For the rest of us, let me go around the table. So Felice, you see Lana and Silas and Bastian and Don all change into a form of the Yuan-Ti. You look down at your own skin and you see scales. You see a tail and all sorts of stuff. You can feel the forked tongue in your own mouth. It's kind of almost like an out of body experience. Everyone else has the same stuff. Like she's explained what's happened, i.e., she's cast reasonably high level, medium to high level wizard spell to make us look like UNT, to get us through this place quicker and without getting challenged. So let me ask: do you want to keep going at this point? Do you want to skip to the end of the sewer? Do you want to know what's in each of the rooms? What are we thinking?
Just randomly go about smashing pots. Are there rubies inside?
Rubies? I mean, no. And if you continue to smash pots or smash any pots in a scene,
this is a Zelda reference.
yes.
I'm saying it would be over the top and ridiculous. I'm not actually doing that.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time that one of my players has done
Somebody
something
did something
strange.
stupid like that.
But cool. I like the reference. Thank you.
So, I think we should just go to the end, and then we'll do that next time.
Yeah, okay. So I'll take us there, and I'll show us, and we'll at least be able to see. Maybe make a tiny little bit of a plan, so we've got some sort of idea as for next time. So swapping over to this map and putting us, I guess, the best chamber to put us. Actually, I'll put us in the middle here, and you can decide. So, you should now be able to, I just want to make sure, yep, you should now see that you're on a different map. You should be able to control your characters. 5 minutes, yeah, that's fine. So we can be either in any of these sort of octagonal chambers. So there's one to your north, there's one that I've put you in for now, and there's one sort of to your right. So any of those chambers are a fine place for you to launch your surprise from. You do see behind you that there is this creature here who has just let you pass because you look like snakes and Yaunty, but seems to be guarding the area. And you do see that there is a big honkin' boss thing in here with many, many heads that looks super scary. So if you want to talk a tiny little bit of strategy, we've only got like 5 minutes. You can. If you want to just leave it there with what you can see. So real quick, you can see pods, except these pods, which are at 4 east, south, east, northeast, south, and west. These pods do not have goop nor living tissue in them like the other pods that we saw did. Instead, they're more snake-shaped, but they're still made of the same sort of fleshy leaf kind of material on the outside, but there's nothing inside of them. And then this platform also has snake heads coming out of the ground that are made of some sort of stone that are all around it, and it has many snake heads on it as a creature. So that's what you see in the chamber.
And no one looks at us. I'm assuming there's other people milling around besides this one, right?
There's other, yeah. So around here.
Nobody looks at us strangely at all.
No. You are effectively 100% disguised while the seeming happens, or until you take offensive action.
So, Silas is going to do this though. I'll roll one more time for it, and then I'm going to take my chest piece out.
Okay.
And I will definitely retrieve it before I leave, but I'm gonna have to leave it on the ground because if I have it on my person still, it's gonna continue to burn.
Just reiterating, even if you take your armor off,
Uh-huh.
this effect is going to continue
It's going to continue.
because you've ingested.
Yeah.
The fire.
Okay. So he
So there is a way to get rid of it, but Silas has no idea what that is.
right, and we know we know what the answer to that is, and it's gonna be really cool when it happens if we get a level right now. But I don't know if that's gonna happen. So
One other thing, actually, the creature that's here in the middle with all of these heads is wielding and holding a glaive, and it exactly matches the description of the glaive of the darkest depths.
Yeah, let's go after that guy first.
I'm not sure we should fight that thing. Question. And I take my
Right, so probably that's a good enough place to leave us with that revelation. So between now and next time, if you want to talk a little bit of planning, or if we want to do that at the start of the session, even if we want to do it before recording, we can. Obviously, there's multiple angles that you guys can come at this, and what's not, having snuck in, you're at an advantage and a disadvantage. The reason why you're at an advantage is because no one knows who you are and you've got a surprise round. You're at a disadvantage because there is both a Marilith here and there, and potentially they might see or hear battle and join it. So it'll be a little bit interesting to see how we want to go about this. I can think of a couple of things that would stop that disadvantage, but you know, we can talk about it next time and figure something out all between times. Thank you guys for coming to play. I hope you've had fun. I wanted to do a little bit more role playing today, and we managed to do that. You technically. I'm just sort of thinking we will definitely level as soon as it's dead. So what I'm thinking is, if you want to put in the level between now and next time, that would be quicker for next time. And I'm fine with it, but if you get any new features or a new spell level, you can't use those. So new features and new spell level, but if you put them on your character sheet, that means that as soon as we've killed that, we can then do that. Does that make sense to everybody?
That was the
Makes
time.
sense to me.
I just touched it.
Yeah. So between now and next time, please level up. Any new features from the next level you can't use next time until we've defeated the creature, and then as soon as we have, we can use them. Cool. Thank you guys. I hope this has been fun. There were a few curveballs in there that I hope that I've taken well. So thanks, guys. This was actually really fun. And next time we'll hopefully do some stuff. Also, there is the option of not fighting this thing. You do look like Yuan Ti, so there might be reasoning in the future. Who knows? We'll discover this next time, guys, on Return to Eberron, Cult of the Godseed. My name's been Matt Nahat, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.